Anchor on the facts, breaking news and in-depth interviews on a wide range of topics.
Atlantic Television Network, home for in-depth reportage. Facts, professionalism, all the news you need. Atlantic Television Network. Atlantic Television Network.
Atlantic Television Network, anchoring facts.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing. You on the point of order.
Is what
Welcome back. Atlantic Sports Talk here on Atlantic Television Network, and we are into tennis now, where the second set, the Czech player Vitorova was in the lead at 3-0 when she had to retire because of injury. It doesn't come too painful than this when you have to retire from a match, not because you've lost completely, but because of injury concerns.
It's quite unfortunate the way Victoria Azarenka left the court yesterday. It shows that all is not well with her, and for her to have developed this kind of injury, although it can happen to any person, it shows that the game is very, very demanding. Like I've always said, the game of tennis is one game that you need to be physically, mentally, and all-round fit for you to partake in the game of tennis, because it demands a lot physically. So for her to have left the way she left yesterday, it's quite unfortunate, and I wish her all the best and the quickest of recovery, so that she can also be part of further tournaments. But the way she was being led before the injury came, it's also another indication that you need to take your chances once you are in court playing the game of tennis.
6-2, 3-0, that's what happened in the second set. But this is not the first time we are seeing Victoria Azarenka, retire or withdraw in terms of a game. In fact, in the last 14 months, this is the 7th time she's had to retire. She's 32 years of age. Do you think her body is reacting to the pressure on the courts?
Well, there's a saying that says, man, know thyself. I think Victoria Azarenka, at this point, needs to know what is wrong, considering her age now. But she has been one of the biggest force in WTA, in world tennis. And at this point, when her body is telling her it's time to retire, I think she needs to calm down and take a proper check and look if this is when she needs to continue or to hang the boat. Right now, her body is telling her injuries upon injuries, buying out in big games, especially this one where she has won before, in the manner at which she did. I don't think it's a good one. It is up for her to think about what to do. Is it take a huge break and get her body fixed, or decide to hang her boat?
32-year Victoria Azarenka, two-time Australian Open champion, and of course former world #1, retiring at the 3rd round of the Miami Open. And who is she retiring to? Who took the best of her? A 16-year-old Czech Republic player who is playing her very first WTA title tournament. This is shocking. 16 years of age now. She's turned out to become the very youngest in the last 18 years. You know, to qualify for the fourth round of the Miami Open.
Yeah, I also take a critical look from the other angle because I looked at the bigger picture. 16 years and she's 32. Maybe she doesn't want to see that she was beaten by a 16-year-old, so the best way is for her to quit honorably. That's what she did.
I don't think so. Doctors on the court side and had to confirm why she had to withdraw out there. And up next, she's will be playing Spain's Paula Bodosa. That's quite another very handful of a player who looks very aggressive on the pitch there. But one big news is that there was a young Chinese player, Zhong Xian, who equally had caused a little bit of upset up to the first and second round, who crashed out in the third round, 7-3, 7-9 to establish young American Coco Gauff. Bernie.
Well, Coco Gauff has been hot and cold sometime in big events when we want to see her. She either crashes out or one thing or the other. In the Miami Open, I haven't been a big name, I haven't been a name that upsets the big names, and coming into the world of tennis as a replacement for Serena Williams, I think getting that aggressive win over the Chinese was a good one because it's the Miami Open, is the 1,000 game, the ranking is up, everybody's looking for a spot to be number one as the number one has retired. So I think it's a good one. She got that important win to put her name back into the headlines.
Well, by the end of today, we'll have a new number one in the female tennis, and she is Iga Swiatek of Poland. Okechukwu, at the end of today, there will be a new number one, but we equally know that she too is in a dominant form as we speak. It looks like her status as new number one has propelled her game. She beat her opponent 6-love, 6-3, American Madison Briggle, in the third round to qualify for the round of 16.
Yeah, the Polish sensation, Iga Swiatek, there's no other time for her to perform very well than now. She just mounted the driving seat as WTA number one, and it's also propelling her to greater heights, propelling her to greater victory. So I pray that her reign as world number one will be longer than that of Ashley Barty.
Well, Ashley Barty's reign definitely, we hope, but I doubt Iga Swiatek is one player who sometimes blows hot and cold as well. Let's look at what's happening, because like you mentioned there, we've seen a 16-year-old, a player who is just 16 years of age and ranked number 279, taking out former world number one and a two-time Grand Slam champion. It could happen. Tennis looks like a game today who looks like biscuit. You don't know where it's going to break from. But let's see. Let's look at what's happening in the male category. Nick Kyrgios of Australia looks in a dominant form. He's taking out Fabio Fognini in what looks very easy, 6-2, 6-4. What do you make of it, by Nick Kyrgios? One player, again, when you expect him to get to the very crucial stage of the competition, he drops. But this is qualification for the round of 16. You think he's done so well. Fabio Fognini of Italy is another player that can be very exciting when you watch him on the court.
Well, Mr. Controversial, the Australian there,
Nick Kyrgios
is one player that he's here at one point, he's there at the other point, and sometimes when you don't expect to see him, he makes the headlines. Either he's making the headlines with his comments, or he's making the headlines with his style of play on the pitch, on the court. A win against Fognini, I think it was a very huge one. The Italian has been a very good tennis player coming up. I was looking at him in the ranks of Alexander Zverev and Tsitsipas and all of that. But Nick came over and got the win, and he has qualified. He's in the next round. I think it's a good one for him.
Well, just before we get out of tennis, let's look at what is happening. We earlier talked about 3 British players all crashing out at the second round, and at this third round we had only one left, and that was British number one, Cameron Norrie, and he's now had to take out French Hugo Gaston. Okechukwu Odenko, this is the first time we have a British number one in Cameron Norrie into the round of 16 of the Miami Open.
It's a good thing for him. It's also a good thing for Great Britain. Norrie is one player. If you check his antecedent at Indian Wells, he also did very well. He got to the later stage of the competition. So going to the fourth round in this Miami Open, it's also very good, and it also puts him in proper perspective and good stead when it gets to the French Open.
We're talking about Nori doing so well. He's made his maiden appearance at the round of 16 at the Miami Open, but he has a very difficult opponent to contend with at that round of 16. By then, he has Casper Ruud. Casper Ruud is one man who has beaten him on 2 previous occasions when they have met. Do you think there will be a third-time win for Casper Ruud over Cameron Norrie?
Well, I'm expecting a long game. I'm expecting a 2 hours game because Norrie has a tax on remaining in the Miami Open. He also has a tax of ensuring that he doesn't lose for the 3rd time against Ruud. And for Ruud, he wants to qualify. He wants to do what he has been doing against Norrie. I think this match will definitely go a long way, 2 hours plus. But at the end, the best man will win.
We're talking about game a long way. Casper Ruud took out Alexander Bublik in a 6-3, 6-2 win in less than an hour. And like I mentioned to you before, he's beaten Cameron Norrie before. So it will be a very interesting one. Like you mentioned, it could go long, but if what we've seen of Casper Ruud in the 3rd round match is anything to go by, then it's going to end fast because he took Alexander Bublik, and that is another exciting player in 6-3, 6-2 win under an hour. Now, I think that's much we can take from the world of tennis. We'll take a short break. When we return from the break, we'll go into football where there's been interesting development. Canada has never been to the World Cup in the last 36 years. They are in Qatar any moment from now because they have qualified. So they'll be making bookings ahead of the November date at the World Cup in Qatar. When we return from the break, we'll let you know what has happened. And the Black Stars of Ghana are expected to arrive in Abuja any moment from now. When they arrive, what are they to do? We'll let you know when we come back. We'll begin your costume now and we'll bring you latest information coming from the world of football. The qualification for Qatar 2022 is hotting up across continents of the world. In Africa here, the Black Stars of Ghana are just about arriving at the tarmac of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. They are here to honor the tie tomorrow at the MKO Abiola Stadium against the Super Eagles of Nigeria, following that goalless draw in Kumasi, Ghana. Okechuwo Demko, perennial foes of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, are almost in town. What do you think of this team coming in with 25 players and technical crew members, including officials of the Ghana Football Association? I
strongly believe that they are not coming for sightseeing. They are not coming to see how beautiful the city of Abuja is. They are coming for a game of football. They know what's at stake. It's more like a rivalry. It's more like a soccer war. It's more like, but like I've always said, that this game has 3 things at stake: national pride, bragging right, and most importantly, the World Cup ticket that has a whopping 5.6 billion naira when you convert it to naira in Nigeria. So they are coming for soccer war, but they fail to take their chances in their fortress in Babayara Stadium. So this is now our own turn to see how we can turn things around. And I strongly believe that the Eagles, they have all it takes. They have what it takes to turn the game around and give us that ticket. Amongst it, between the 2 teams, Nigeria seems the hungrier. Nigeria seems the team that wants it more to go to the World Cup. And FIFA will definitely benefit from Nigeria in the World Cup because we've always been the most entertaining team whenever we get to the World Cup.
Nigeria, they are waiting for the Black Stars of Ghana. Like I mentioned to you, in the next 15 minutes, they should touch down at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. On touchdown, they will be going straight to their hotel. They are due to have their only training session on the pitch of the MKO Abiola Stadium by 6 p.m. This evening. What do you make of this training session?
Well, I think first we need to give them the best of equipment, not the kind of reception they gave to us, because we wouldn't want an eye for an eye. I think upon arrival, were to give them every good thing they didn't give to us. A perfect press briefing center, nice hotel, and a conducive environment. That should be on our mind. And then the training, of course, they have a mandatory training. They will have to do that. But I love what the Super Eagles did yesterday when they had a training. Every door leading to the stadium was blocked. They don't want to hear that a spy came in to check, because Ghana did hide their own. So the Super Eagles did theirs too. So I think coming will give them the nice reception they deserve.
Well, the Super Eagles of Nigeria will have their very final training session this morning, and while the Ghanaians will take their turn in the evening. And the match, of course, is at 6. Is tomorrow, and I'm sure a lot of Nigerians are expected to come into that stadium. 60,000 have been approved by CAF, and a lot of Nigerians are apprehensive. They don't believe that 60,000 fans can enter into that stadium. Abuja do not have that kind of large football followership, but I think fans can be mobilized from across the country.
Yes, fans could be mobilized from other parts of the country with proper arrangement and better logistics arrangement. The good thing is that Ojis Okalo Foundation has also kept bought about 5,000 tickets to be distributed to fans on the gate there. So if other corporate Nigerians, if other corporate entities could also make tickets available for fans, people would come in. But the most important thing is how to move these fans from other parts of the country to Abuja within the shortest possible time. I believe people could also come from Nasarawa State, some could come from Jos, some should also come from Niger State. But the only thing there is that Abuja is not close to where we have soccer crazy fans like those coming from Aba, Enugu, Lagos. We've always known that Lagos, even anyway, if people could travel to Lagos from other parts of the country to cheer up Super Eagles within the shortest time frame, Abuja, that is even in a central location, people could also go there. So I enjoin all Nigerians of goodwill to go there, putting on white, green, cheer the Eagles from the first blast of the whistle till the end of the match. Even when the goals are not coming, they shouldn't put the team under pressure. They should just allow them, cheer them to victory.
Well, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, tomorrow is the D-Day, and a lot is expected. 60,000 fans should be inside that MKO Abiola Stadium to supporting the team, because a lot is expected from the Super Eagles. We have to qualify for the World Cup, and this is an opportunity to return back for a 4th consecutive time at the World Cup. It doesn't come any bigger than that. I don't see how Nigeria could lose on home soil and take away the opportunity of going to a 4th consecutive World Cup. Everything is being done. Someone said the other day, in fact, the minister said the president could even be in that stadium. Do you see the president in that stadium, Barene?
Well, I think when we were at the Africa Cup of Nations, he put a call through, and that was when we were in Cameroon. And this one, it's at, for me, I feel it's at his domot or his backyard, so there is no way he cannot make it to the stadium. If he can't, definitely call my go through, but I think he should be there.
Well, the president should be there. If the president is there, I'm sure nobody should play to disappoint. But Okechukwu Demko, the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, they immediately returned from Kumasi on the same night after the match, and thereafter they have been in the training session. They were in training on Saturday. They've been training yesterday, and at final training session will be coming up today. Austin Aguava should have had enough time with the players now to know the mentality of players. He had very few days before the match, but now I think he's put a number of days on his belt, and he should be able to decide on who starts. We talked about the midfield position for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Do you think he should be able to tinker with players, especially in that midfield position?
Yeah, first and foremost, let me commend the leadership of the Federation and the Sports Ministry for putting up a very wonderful logistics arrangement for the Super Eagles. This is about the first time the team had a very wonderful logistics arrangement where they just traveled and came back immediately on a very good arrangement. Then it's also good for the team, at least they have enough days to train. The coach will see the physical condition of the players and also know who needs to go in and who needs to go out. But the midfield is one place where we really need to do a lot about, because one, for Thomas Partey to have had a field day in Kumasi. We wouldn't let that happen in Abuja. Let's see how we can curtail him, how we can put him in check, then how we can also play more as a team. But every other department, like the defense, did very well. But you know what the midfield is more like the brain box, is the engine room of every team. Once the midfield collapses, it has a devastating effect on other aspects of the team or other departments of the team. So they really need to see how they can cross the T's and dot the I's effectively, so we can contain Thomas Partey and the rest of the fast-paced Ghanaian midfielders.
Well, Thomas Partey is coming to Nigeria. Maybe after Partey we can consider him, but not before. The Partey Nigerians are expected to haven't gotten their ticket going to the African, let's say the World Cup coming up in Qatar in November this year. Let's go across now. Talking about qualification for the World Cup, we told you that 19 countries out of 32 have qualified for the World Cup coming up in Qatar in November this year. Country number 20 has now qualified for the World Cup, and that country is Canada. The Canada beat Jamaica last night by 4 on-reply goals in Toronto, and that helped them to return to the World Cup after 36 years by then.
Well, Canada making a headline is really an impressive one. 36 years of not being in the biggest tournament in the world, 36 years of not being heard of, and 36 years making a return. I think it's a huge one for Canada. They got that big win, 4-0, it ended on reply, and you could see the fans were so happy. The stadium was full, and it's just a way of getting into the World Cup. That reminds me of the Philippine team in the Women's World Cup, who also made their first appearance. It seems like 2022, 2023 World Cup, both for male and female, is having first and returnees after a very long time.
Well, Canada, they won 8 of their games in from their group. They drew 4, and of course lost just 1 to qualify. In fact, the very first country from the CONCACAF region of to qualify for the World Cup. United States of America has yet to qualify. They will have to contend with, I think they have a game tonight, and we have Mexico in that group as well. But Canada, the very first, coming off 8 victories, 4 draw, and losing only 1 game in 36 years.
Canada, I think there's a strong revolution going on in their football. You have this Davis in Bayern Munich. They had Fikayo Tomori, who is also with, I think he played for Chelsea, but he's gone out of Chelsea. So you see now there's a strong, there's a strong and positive influence of young players who are being injected into the team. So it's a clear reflection, and it has also translated in their play in the CONCACAF, qualifying first ahead of dreaded Mexico and perennial World Cup attendees, the United States and the Costa Rica. They've qualified ahead of them, winning 8 matches, drawing 4 and losing just 1. That means they have made a very bold statement.
Well, 30,000 fans inside that Toronto Stadium last night were in very jubilant mood. It was all white and red, Canada color there, showing that yes, they deserve to return. There's so many things about this Canadian team. Maybe you won't return on our program Sports Extraordinary. We'll let you know. The coach of the side is British, and he's an academy coach. You'll be shocked to know that he had actually coached the country female team before moving across to the male team, and this is the first time in 36 years Canada is qualifying. We'll let you know about that coach that did so well for Canada when we return at 6 p.m. Nigerian time for Sports Extraordinary, when we'll be very, very analytical in it. Talking about Canada, the last time they were at the World Cup was in Mexico. That was in 1986. Let's quickly wrap up the program now, and of course we'll bring you some exciting news from the world of basketball. Yes, basketball, because Brooklyn is playing at home in New York at the Barclays Center. That they are 18,106 sellout crowd. Do I say was disappointed because they lost, but was happy Okuchi Odenko that Kerry Irwin was in the starting lineup for the very first time in New York.
Well, it's good for him, and it's also good for the team. You know, when a star player returns returns to the team after a long layoff, there's always this excitement, there's this frenzy, and there's this excitement that is going to turn things around. But he didn't turn out to be